Wow, what an amazing summer this has been. 4 months ago, when we left Alaska to come to Montana, I don't think we could have planned it any better than we did.
I don't think we would have ever dreamt that we would have done what we've done.
Right? I mean, we have done so much in the last 4 months, and Glacier National Park has been a fantastic starting point for our new life.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I mean, in Glacier, we've done hiking, we've done biking, kayaking, horseback riding, whitewater rafting. It's just nonstop.
Going to the Sun Road.
Going to the Sun Road. I mean, it's been amazing.
Yes,
And
we've done a lot.
We hope that, you have enjoyed what we've done and that you've gotten something out of it, because that's our real goal for us when we do this, is to, instead of coming to a place for a short period of time and giving you one or two things to think about, our goal was to spend more quality time at a location and to learn more, to pass on to you, to help you when it comes time to plan your family vacations, your outings, or whatever, to give you the best opportunity to make the most of your time.
Yeah, and I think we've done that. I think we've done a really good job of doing the videos and really sharing our experiences with everyone. So it's been great.
Right, so what we wanted to do now that we've been here for 4 months and we've done 13 videos, 14 videos are in our Glacier National Park playlist. So we'll put a link above. So if you haven't watched the videos, please go and watch the videos. There's a lot of information there that hopefully will be very useful for you. If you like our videos, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and don't forget to click the little notification bell so you get notified every time we put out a new video.
Yes. So what we want to do today is we want to count down our top 10 out of the 14 videos that we've done here in Glacier, and that's not counting what we've done outside of the park, but we're only going to concentrate on Glacier National Park. That way you can plan your vacation by our top 10.
Correct.
If you want to.
Which you should, because there's a lot of good tips in here, a lot of good information. Almost everything that we did inside the park you can do as a family, no matter the age of your children, no matter what your health condition is or anything like that. We've done trails that were handicap accessible, and we've done harder trails, but also trails that we did see kids on.
Yes.
So we're not mountain climbers or anything like that.
I've struggled.
So we hope you get something out of our top 10 list. And leave us a comment and let us know what you think. So starting in reverse order with number 10, Three Falls Hike, Glacier National Park.
This is a great hike for families. It's fairly level. It's not a difficult hike. The nice thing about the hike is if you don't want to do the 6 miles and see all 3 waterfalls, you can start at a different part and do, I think it cuts down like a mile and a half off of your hike, and you can see 2 waterfalls. The nice thing too is that you can actually see one of the waterfalls from the road as you're driving by, and that's pretty remarkable that you could say, oh my gosh, we hiked way over there.
And that's the bigger one.
That's the bigger one. That's
the
Virginia Falls, yes.
And
so
you look across the lake and you see it like on the side of the mountain.
And you're like, I'm never going to be able to go there. But yeah, you can.
That's where you end up.
It's pretty impressive how far it looks. Yeah.
Nothing really negative about that hike though.
No.
I mean, it was a good hike. The reason it comes in at number 10 for us, I think, is just, in a way, is maybe the overall wow factor. Waterfalls are very nice, and we truly enjoyed it, and they were good waterfalls. But for us, in comparison to the things on the rest of the list, it just didn't have the same wow factor.
Yes, but it's a great hike if you only have a short period of time, and if you have younger children, they're definitely able to do that.
Easy to do the hike for them.
Number 9.
Lake McDonald and John's Lake Trail.
Yes, this trail is awesome because it's one of the first trails that opens up early in the season. So as soon as when the park is open and the going to the sun road is still closed past Lake McDonald Lodge, you can do this trail. You can hike up there. They do have a gate across the road, and so you can walk on the road, gets you to the trail. You can do either just John's Lake loop there for that trail, or you can do the whole entire thing and go across the road, and you get to see two waterfalls, and then the trail follows the river that flows into Lake McDonald. We did this before the park was open, after
it was
the Lake McDonald.
It was
early.
So when you come into the park, you go to the end of Lake McDonald, the north end of Lake McDonald, and that's where the gate will be across the road if you're early in the year. And then you walk up the road to the trailhead, and then you get on the trailhead and you can walk the trailhead. It's like maybe 4 miles.
Yes, I think it was 4-mile loop. Yep.
2 waterfalls plus a little lake off the side.
Yeah.
And again, coming early is when the water levels are really high and the water is really impressive coming off that waterfall.
Yeah.
You'll see what I mean when you watch that video, because the water levels were amazing.
Yes, yeah. So when we're talking about the water levels, if you come earlier in the summer, May, June, possibly early July, the water levels of course are much higher than they are in late July and August. We have definitely seen the water levels decrease throughout the summer. So if you are a waterfall lover, you need to come early in the summer to see those absolutely amazing waterfalls.
Yeah, they're beautiful, especially some of the ones on the going to the sun road. As you're looking across the road.
Yeah.
What is the one? The Bride's. It's 492 feet.
Bird Woman
Falls. It's like 492 feet. When we first came in the park and got up there mid-July, water coming off of that was insane. Now
today you could hardly see it.
So coming in at number 8 is the Avalanche Lake Trail and Trail of the Cedars.
Wow.
Awesome. I mean, again, another great opportunity early in the season.
Yes.
Because as they open the park, they do it in sections, right? The first section was to McDonald Lake Lodge. The second section opens up to Avalanche Lake, or Avalanche parking lot, I should say, and campground, where the trailhead is for Avalanche Lake and Trail to the Cedars.
Yes.
So it's a good hike for early in the year.
So again, early in the year, reason why is because the water coming through the gorge on the Trail to the Cedars is absolutely amazing. That waterfall that was coming through that water was so white, but then down below it was so blue. It was absolutely amazing. We didn't see much of a difference in the water level of the lake itself, but definitely in the river coming out of the lake and flowing down. Excellent hike. It's about 4 miles again. It has a little bit more of an elevation gain than a couple of the other hikes that we have done. Still, we saw lots of children of all ages on this hike, and so families can definitely do it. It was nice because, well, this year is kind of different. They have all of the campgrounds closed, so there was extra parking in the campgrounds that normally isn't there. So parking is definitely an issue with a lot of places in the park.
Right.
But Avalanche Trail, definitely a must-do for
and higher up on our list because, again, the payoff.
Yes.
You get these wonderful views of the Gorge Waterfall, and the lake is surrounded by mountains, and it sits at the base, and there's either 4 or 5 waterfalls coming down the mountains at
on the back
of the
side of it. I think the best part about this one for me is when the sun was coming up, because we got out here so early. When the sun was coming up, it came up on a mountain that was at a peak, and so the sun was just like right at the tip of
it's like a flame over the top of a candle.
It was like the topper on your Christmas tree.
Yeah.
It was very beautiful to just witness that. So come early because you never know what you're going to see just by the sun coming up. It was fabulous.
Coming in at number 7, biking going to the Sun Road. We did this because
the road wasn't open.
But again, they allow hikers and bikers past where the road's closed early in the season.
Yes.
And what a phenomenal trip. It was a little bit of a hard bike ride because neither of us are,
It's been a couple of years since we rode a bike.
We spent much time on a bike.
But it was fantastic.
And like 4 or 5 miles of it's uphill. But the ability to just ride your bike down the middle of the road, never have to think about a car because the road's closed to vehicles. It's just bikes and hikers.
You can stop whenever you want to. There was lots of waterfalls that we stopped at. There was, we just stopped and we laid our bikes in the middle of the road.
Just the view.
And just sat there and watched whatever was out there. It was just amazing. And I think it's a great idea that they do have the park closed just for hikers and bikers early in that year, so you can experience that.
Right.
My biggest downfall on the biking to the loop is I didn't know what was ahead of me. We went around the hairpin at the loop. Had I known that just a few more feet up the road that it was going to open up to that valley, I would have pushed myself harder to go a little bit further.
Let's be honest, it's more than just a few more feet. More like a mile. So, but had we known it was 1 more mile up the road,
I would have gone.
The views we were going to see,
Yeah.
we would have definitely gone. But we decided, we'll wait. They're going to open the road soon enough, and we'll see it then.
Right.
But
so the best part of the whole thing, riding downhill.
Down the hill.
That was so fun. I loved riding down that hill. That was great.
Make sure your brakes work.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was great. I love that.
And
I always want to go down.
And if you're coming early in the year like we did, you get hot pedaling up the hill, put your jacket back on before you go down the hill.
Yes.
Trust me, you will thank me for it.
Yes, for sure. Especially when it was like, 50 degrees?
Yes. Number 6.
Number 6.
We're at number 6.
Number 6.
So number 6 is the North Fork Road, Bowman Lake, Kintla Lake,
and Hornet Lookout.
Hornet Lookout. But you get a little extra bonus round on this one because to get to those places, you got to go through Polebridge.
Yes.
And Polebridge,
oh my goodness.
the views from Polebridge of the mountain ranges are phenomenal.
Yes.
But it's all about the Huckleberry Bear Claw.
Right?
I'm telling you, you've never had anything like this before, so do yourself a favor, put the extra calories on, the carbs, whatever, and just do it. It's worth it.
It's very good.
Later on, you'll hike those calories off.
We have gone to Polebridge, 3 times this summer?
Yep.
Just because.
Just because.
We like it. It's cool.
It's a 35-mile ride down a dirt road, but I always get the Huckleberry Bear Claw. Bowman Lake and Kintla Lake, the lakes themselves were closed to watercraft or anything, so there was nothing really that impressive to do there. The views were really nice.
The views were really great.
And I remember when we were at Kintla Lake, right, is when we heard the loons calling.
Yes.
So that was pretty cool. I've always loved loons.
Yes.
Well worth the drive, the time and the effort. Keep in mind it's a dirt road. It's a little rough, so it's not going to be a quick trip. It's not the kind of thing you can do in just a couple of hours. Plan at least a half a day, probably more than half a day, depending on whether you go to Bowman Lake, Kintla Lake, and Hornet Lookout.
Right. Yeah, and it's all driving. We didn't do any hiking there, but there are hiking trails if you want to hike. We didn't do any of those. We just drove for the day. Because we're able to take Sky as long as we keep her in the car, because she's not allowed, dogs are not allowed on any of the hiking trails. And so sometimes we just want Sky to be able to go with us, so we choose not to hike just for her benefit, that she's with us.
So we'll find something that we can do in the car for the day.
Yeah. And she got to go hiking up to Hornet Lookout because that's not in the park. So she was able to get out and hike that part of it. It was only a mile. But it gave her that little bit of, I get to be with you guys.
Right.
So Sky was in part of that day.
A day she didn't have to stay in the trailer is always a good day. All right.
All right.
We're in the middle ground now, number 5.
Oh, yeah.
Number 5.
Once in a lifetime opportunity. A flight over Glacier National Park. I would have never dreamt.
When we came here, there was certainly no thought process whatsoever in our head that we were ever going to fly over Glacier National Park.
Yeah.
But we met Danny Jones of Red Dog Flying Service. And, you know, we paired up. We're not affiliated with the company at all. We don't get any money for saying anything good about Danny and his flying service, but he does a great job.
Yep.
And he has made an offer of a 10% discount for anybody who calls to set up a flight with him and mentions Roaming with the Ramsays and the video. Now, I got to tell you, the reason I never thought we would ever do a flight tour is because I always thought, well, wow, those are expensive.
Right.
But he's really not. You know, Danny's prices are somewhere like $175 per person for the tour. And the tour usually lasts an hour or so.
Yeah.
And it's worth every penny of it.
Heck yeah.
Every penny.
Heck yeah.
Because you will see things that in
a completely different perspective than you can from the ground.
Yeah, and you'll see things that the millions of people who come to Glacier National Park every year aren't going to get a chance to see.
We flew over the east side, which we can't even drive to this year because of COVID, and we flew over Logan Pass. We flew over the Garden Wall. We saw the valley that you drive on from up there. I mean, it was absolutely breathtaking.
Flew over that mountain right back behind us.
We could see Lake McDonald.
We could see Lake McDonald.
Oh,
phenomenal.
And totally worth it.
The only reason this is not higher up the list is just because, again, the things that are on the list up above is just awesome. You know?
Yeah.
And
I think for me, the reason why this came in at number 5 was just because not everybody can or will be able to do this, and we are looking at what can everybody do, but it's definitely, if you can do it, you need to do it. Yeah.
Again, 10% off. Mention Roaming with the Ramsays.
Yes.
And flying over Glacier National Park. When you call Danny, email Danny. Link and everything below in the description.
Check out our flight.
Well worth it. Watch that video.
Amazing.
You're going to be amazed. Number 4. Number 4.
Yes.
We're making progress, people. So number 4 is
kayaking.
Apgar. And kayaking. So again, I'm going to point out the lake.
There's the
right
lake.
There.
Lake McDonald.
Awesome.
Kayaks all over the lake all day long.
All day.
It's beautiful.
You know, Apgar in its own right is just a quaint little village. It's got 1 or 2 places you can eat. Ice cream, Eddie's Ice Cream, good stuff.
Good stuff.
It's got a couple little stores, gift shops and things like that. There's kayak and bike rentals. So if you don't have that stuff, if you don't have your own bikes, you don't have your own kayaks, you can get them from the store in Apgar.
Yep.
But
picnic area.
Yeah,
Bring
picnic
your
areas.
Lunch, enjoy the beach.
That's what we did. You know, when we kayak, we usually pack a little lunch, and you just pull up on shore somewhere, enjoy a snack, or even eat it in the kayak.
Yeah.
It's a great little lake to kayak on. It really is.
Yeah.
I say little lake. It's not that little, but if you get the right day, the water's like glass almost, or just a slight breeze, and it's an easy paddle.
Yep.
And even with the rental areas here, it's not congested.
Right. Yes.
And the views are beautiful. And again, I think I said it in the video when we did the video on kayaking in Apgar. that there's just something about the views and the perspective from being on the water in a kayak instead of on the shore looking across the water.
Right, absolutely.
We've always loved kayaking.
Number 3.
Number 3.
My favorite.
Alice's number 1, probably, more than anything else, I would say. And really close to my number 1, but honestly, we had to take the whole park into perspective. And it was a challenge as we got probably from number 5 to number 1 was the hardest to figure out, because this number 3 was
we saw the most wildlife.
Amazing. Hidden. We didn't even tell them what it is.
Not yet. I haven't.
Oh.
No, I haven't.
You trying to keep secret?
Yeah.
Ah.
So we saw the most wildlife.
Yep.
We had a very special visitor for our lunch break.
We did.
The views were breathtaking.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
You said amazing?
I did.
But you said breathtaking first, so that's good. It's good.
So, but it is Hidden Lake Trail.
It's
out of
awesome.
Logan Pass.
Yep.
So what does that mean? You must get up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
You must be up at Logan Pass by 6 o'clock in the morning at the latest if you want a parking spot.
Yeah, 6:30 maybe.
You do need to get up early in order to do this hike.
And it depends on time of year. When we did it, it was not that bad. Parking was bad.
Yes.
But as we've continued to come back later in the summer, toward the end of July, parking's a nightmare.
Been worse.
Even today.
They had shut it down.
Today we drove past Logan, past Visitor Center, and we're coming back out at 11:30. They had barriers across the parking lot entrance because parking lot was full, and they're not going to let anybody in until some vehicles leave.
Right.
So go early.
Yes.
So you can get a parking spot.
And we went
and it's
earlier.
worth it.
We went earlier in the year, so there was still snow on the trail.
Right.
And so I highly recommend if you're going to come early and there's still snow on the trail, make sure you bring your hiking poles because they do help stabilize you.
And maybe some sort of traction device that works good in snow.
Yeah.
If you watch that video, you'll see that we were helping a 74-year-old woman who was trying to get across the snowpack and was having a lot of problems.
Yes.
But well worth it. And the snow is probably the only negative from that entire hike.
Right.
And for us, it wasn't much of a negative. We had poles. We didn't really slip and fall, but it was a little unstable on the footing.
Right. And then later in the year, it's kind of a bummer because later in the year, the bears start coming in. And so when there's a lot of bear activity, they do shut the trail down and you're not even allowed to do the trail. So, it's a hit and miss type of thing. I absolutely love this hike. I really want to do this hike again before we leave here. So that's my goal is I got to do this hike again because I really enjoyed it the first time.
It was a good hike. I loved it. I mean, the overlook.
The views.
The view at the overlook. We literally sat at that overlook for over an hour.
Honey, why did we retire?
To look at a rock. A big rock.
A big rock.
Called Bear Hat Mountain.
Coming in at number 2.
Number 2.
This
trail, one is one that I wanted to do for a long time.
Right, and I don't think we're done with this one yet either. I think we're going to come back and do some more on this one.
It was killing me that I had to wait as long as I did.
Because they never opened the trail.
Every time I'd go to Logan Pass Visitor Center or drive by, I'm looking at the sign. It's like, is it open yet?
Nope.
No. And it was kind of hard to find information about it on their website too.
And the name of the trail is?
The Highline Trail.
Yay!
Awesome. I mean, if you're afraid of heights, forget about it. Do not even think about it.
It is walking the cliff line.
You're walking the cliff line above going to the Sun Road.
Yes.
But it wasn't scary. I mean, the path is typically 6 to 8 feet wide. Along that edge, they have a cable mounted to the cliff, mounted to the wall right next to you that you can hold on to. I wasn't afraid of the heights at all.
I wasn't either.
Wasn't a bother for us. But we've saw a few people
did.
who kind of had a death grip on the cable and were
They
slowly
really wanted to
inching
do
along.
it, and they were pushing themselves. So yeah, give them
So
credit
just
for trying.
Keep that in mind. If you're
Yes.
afraid of heights, not the hike for you, but the views from
But
there,
the
the
views,
payoffs,
whew,
man,
baby, those were cool.
We only did 3.5
miles.
We went to Haystack Butte.
Yeah.
Got to the overlook there at Haystack Butte, and that was great.
Yes.
It's probably one of the most popular hikes in the park.
You can hike all the way from Logan Pass all the way down to the loop, which you would go through the Granite Park Chalet area.
Yep.
And you're looking at approximately 15 miles to do the whole thing.
Yeah, 12 to 15 miles, if depending on whether or not you take the side trail that takes you up to the Grinnell Glacier Overlook. Word of caution on that. It's 0.9 miles long, and it gains 900 feet in elevation, I believe it was. So it's
Yikes.
like climbing up a hill. It's a massive incline. So,
Yes.
but you can go to the loop without having to take that look.
Yes.
During a normal year, the shuttle operates.
Which would be
So
great.
you could hike from the Logan Pass Visitor Center down to the loop,
Right.
catch a shuttle, and get back up to Logan Pass Visitor Center where your vehicle is.
Right now you have to have 2 cars in order
Right.
to do it. But on a normal year, I think the shuttles are pretty
Shuttles are
often.
free, and they run, frequently.
Yes. And the drum roll
Drum roll, please.
for number 1. Of course, going to the
Going
Sun
to the Sun
Road.
Road. You had to know it. I mean, and it's all about the wow, because
Big time.
there are a few things that you need to know first. One, it's a narrow road,
I like skinny road.
okay? Very narrow road. So be a confident driver, or
Yes.
find one, because it is pretty narrow. Take your time, don't go fast, but it's just
Oh my
the
God.
views. The first time that Alice and I did that trip, we pulled out in almost every
stop.
pull out, got out of the car, took pictures, looked, and had to pick our chins up off the
Yep.
ground because it was just amazing.
Yep. Just, oh my gosh. Yeah, it's very hard to describe just because it is just so beautiful. And we have, with no exaggeration, we have probably driven going to the Sun Road at least 30 to 40 times.
Right.
And you don't get tired of it.
And it's never the same,
the clouds are different,
We've
or-
come in the evening because we
Yeah.
wanted to go up to Logan Pass and watch the
Sunset
stars
and
and
yeah.
sunsets. Between different cloud formations and things like that, it's
Yeah.
always a little bit of a different view. And again, just like anywhere else, right? As the season goes, the colors of the foliage change and things like that. So
If you're a biker, it's a biker's dream to ride that. And like we said, before the park opens fully is when a lot of people will bike that all the way up to Logan Pass. Can't say
it's been my number one the whole time because
Right.
I was just literally in awe of the majesty of it
Yeah.
all. The first time that you come in around those corners and the valley starts opening
Mm-hmm.
up and you see the mountain peaks and all that there is
absolutely
to see.
breathtaking. I mean, it's just like
It's astonishing.
you just want to sit on the side of the road and cry. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I think I did a little. In conclusion, we would love to say thank you. I mean, we have felt an overwhelming amount of support from our followers
For sure.
and some wonderful comments that we just love that. And we wanted to be able to share that experience with you to give you the information that you need to make sound decisions on your travel plans and where a good place to go is and maybe where a place to not go.
Right.
Because the information sometimes is hard to find.
It is. It really is. And, you know, I think being able to go through and video all of the things that we've done this summer and share them with you has been really great. And I think that it would help all of you to help plan a better family vacation to where you can make sure that you get in what you really want to do and not come here and say, what do we do now?
Right, because when you get here, it's overwhelming.
It's
because
overwhelming.
There's so much.
Yes.
So what we hoped that we were able to accomplish this year is to provide you with a good base to
Yes.
start off of, and watch the videos and say, yeah, that looks like something I'd be interested in doing, or that's something I can do, or I'm not
something-
interested in that.
Right.
Let somebody else do that.
Right.
You know, and it's a way for you to be able to go to one stop and find everything you need to know about Glacier National
Right.
Park.
So we're proud to be part of your lives and in planning your vacations.
And so is Sky.
So Sky.
But just because our summer here at Glacier National Park is coming to an end,
Yes.
doesn't mean that our adventure is over.
Heck no.
This is just the beginning.
This is just our first stop.
right? So
How many more stops do we have?
a lot.
A lot.
A lot. Next stop,
We're talking about Utah.
about Utah.
Yes. So then you can get all the details of Utah.
We'll spend time in Utah and hit Moab, Zion,
Bryce Canyon, Lake
Canyon.
Powell.
and it won't be just staying there for a few days and doing
No.
something popular. It'll be
I think we're-
staying there for a few weeks
Yeah.
and doing several things to give you a good idea of what kind of things there are.
So
for
be
you.
looking for our next adventure.